Welcome to cctvninjas.com help and tutorial section. Today we will be covering on how to configure cloud IP cameras. Our cloud IP cameras essentially are going to operate much like our cloud DVRs. You can now utilize the IP camera technology without having to forward ports or anything along those lines. To get your camera viewable remotely. So it saves a lot of time and headache. You don't have to worry about IP address changes. You don't have to worry about complicated firewall scenarios where you got to allow them to be able to view online. So essentially what we're going to do is our IP cameras, they come with a sticker on the camera that's going to tell you what its default IP address is. You're going to want to connect that camera to a switch on your network that your computer that you're using is also connected to, and navigate to that IP address. So let's go ahead and do that here now. Once you navigate to that IP address, we're going to be prompted to install an ActiveX module. You're going to want to go ahead and click OK. And once that is installed, you're going to be prompted with a username and password field. The username on our IP cameras is going to be admin by default, and the password is going to be left blank. We're going to go ahead and click login there, and it's going to be asking us for our bitrate type. We can go ahead and leave it at mainstream since we're on the same network. Typically, when you're outside of the network, you're going to want to click extra stream. It's a bit more compressed, but for our purposes here, we can go ahead and click OK. And we can see we have got our IP cameras. The IP cameras have some pretty cool features like the digital zoom. You can left click and drag the square to the feature you want to zoom to. Right click to zoom back out to the full field. But so there's going to be now some settings that's going to configure a lot like our DVR. So we're going to go to click our device config here. It has the same menu even. Once we're on their device config, we're going to give it a second to let that menu pull up. And okay, let's go to our settings button and then click network. See, now here's when you'll be able to assign it an IP address that you're going to want it to use while you are going to be having it running on your network, or you can leave it on DHCP. A lot of times we recommend just leaving it on DHCP since we're going to be running it on a cloud service anyways. And DHCP, you'll prevent any IP conflicts, especially if you're not too tech savvy. That way you don't have any IP conflicts running across your network. But if you are tech savvy and you do know a little bit of basic networking, then you can go ahead and assign them IPs, gateways. Just make sure the IPs are all unique, of course, for each of your cameras. Otherwise, you won't have any communication at all. And we are going to want to make sure that the high-speed download feature is there, checked right there. That way we can go ahead and have it throttle the bandwidth and run correspondingly so with the current bandwidth that your system's running, so that when you're viewing it remotely you have a clean feed. Once that's checked, you're going to go ahead and be able to just go ahead and click OK. You're going to then want to get the serial number of the camera so that you can utilize your cloud service. And we're going to use the last icon to the far right, which is going to be the info icon. And we're going to then select version. When we select version there, here's going to be our serial ID. We're going to just highlight it, right click and copy it. And look, if you notice the NAT status, it currently says connected. So this is online and it is ready to be connected to a cloud account. So now what we'll do is we will go to our xmi.net account. You may already have an xmi.net account, especially if you're already using our equipment, and you can add this then to the XMI account, or you can create a new account by clicking register here and then logging in afterwards. So let's just go ahead and log in. Okay, then we will then go to device manage. We will click add a device. You'll enter the serial number here, the device name, which could be whatever you're going to be naming, let's say front entry megapixel camera. And then the username and password to log into that camera. So the current is going to be admin in all lowercase letters, and the default is going to be blank. So go ahead and click OK there. And we already have this serial number entered, so let's go back to device manage. And this is going to be it right here, our Dome 3 megapixel serial number. And so now we have that IP camera associated with our cloud account. And we can go ahead and go to my devices. let it connect, click the Dome IP 3 megapixel camera, and we will then be prompted with our bitrate. And this is going to be for the live viewing purposes of remote connectivity. If you're going to want to go ahead and have it recording, then you can utilize one of our hybrid DVRs, and you can watch a tutorial on how to add the IP camera as well to the hybrid DVR so that it's recording, and it can record off-site or on-site. And let's go ahead and let this load here. And there we have it. If you have any questions, please feel free to visit us online at cctvninjas.com or give us a call. Thank you.